Hello, everyone. This is Bruce, and we have finally reached the end of our Theramin saga with video number 6. I think it will actually be 6A and 6B, so we're not quite there. And self-calibration is a nice, sophisticated element to add to any piece of software which is environmentally responsive. In our case, the Theramin will calibrate to its current lighting conditions, which is important because even moving it a foot or two can throw those off, and then by our previous technique, you have to go back into the software and print out the data and so on. So it'd be nice if it just did this while it was starting up. Okay, so there are many approaches to doing this, of course, and we're going to try two of them. One's easy, and that's continuously monitoring the value of the data that is being read by Analog-in the main loop. And if it rises higher than the current data max, you just increase data max. And if it drops below the current data min, you just lower data min. It's simple, but it has the drawback that it can overcompensate for transient bright and dim conditions, and it also loses the ability to shut off in the dark, which is simply interpreted as an extra low data min. Second approach is to perform the data min and data max sensing and setup, which allows you to define a setup period and then not change them after that. And this makes calibration a start and stop operation. It doesn't go on continuously, which makes it resistant to extra bright and extra dim conditions. It does make it a little bit tricky in terms of timing how long the system's going to calibrate and how you interact with it to do this. And we're going to use the same maximum high, maximum low loop and setup that we did in loop. And we're going to run the speaker so you can hear it calibrating, which will give you an idea of what it's doing. This is in the absence of adding additional LEDs or other sorts of hardware. At the end of calibration, which is now 15 seconds, we will indicate this by a second or two of silence before it starts to operate. Okay, so we'll try both methods. So over on the right is Theramin 6, 6A. And this was derived from Theramin 5, which we just finished. And so scroll this up to calibrate in the loop. And to do this is really quite easy. We need to make two changes. One is over here on the right for data min. Okay, we want to start data min at the highest possible value, 1023, that it could possibly have. I'll just put a little / there for what it was. And data max, we want to start out at the lowest possible value that it could possibly be. And I guess I'll take those numbers off. And say that calibration will lower this. Data min, calibration will lower. Will lower. And for the other one, data max of 0, we will say that calibration will raise. Okay, so now how are we going to go do this? I'm going to scroll down to the loop where we are going to continuously monitor the value of data, and we simply need to add two very simple if statements. If the value of the raw data, before it's been constrained or anything, is greater than the current value of data max, then data max equals data. Just make it bigger. Starts out at 0, we're going to raise it up. Second line, if data is less than the current value of data min, then data min equals data. semicolon. So we'll put a little comment in here and call this continuous self-calibration. And the other thing that we might want to do here, it should be apparent to anybody what those are doing, is this little number 5 here has turned out to be a bit problematical. This is the slight offset to the minimum and maximum so that the program shut off if your hand wasn't over it. And while I was hand tuning it, it was okay. But now that it's being tuned automatically, it's not making any attempt at judgments. And 5 sometimes is too small. So I'm going to change this to a variable, and I'm going to call it tolerance. Okay, so we're going to move it up to the top to make it easier to change it as we might need to. There's another 5, tolerance, and our fourth 5, tolerance. Okay, look at this quickly, make sure I haven't missed a 5 somewhere, and we'll go back up to the top, and right after note time, we'll add another variable, int tolerance equals, I'm going to move to 10, semicolon, and this is essentially the dead band. Above and below the valid data to shut off the sound. Okay, so let's go ahead and try loading this up and see what we get. Let's compile first. Done compiling, let's upload. Okay, we're through uploading. Machine is sitting under the light. Let me go put my hand under it. Okay, I'm going down, lower. I'm going up, higher. Taking my hand away. That's good. Put my hand back. And go cover it with a shadow. Takes it a moment to respond if it senses a calibration issue. And I've also lowered the frequency on this because that 10,000 hertz scream it was making earlier was really bothering me. So that is all there is to this calibration. It's very simple, it's very easy. The only problem is if I reach over here and turn off the light, well, oh, there it goes. Okay, it's just found that there's a darker dark than dark, and it is not shut itself off. Okay, turn the light back on. We don't have the problem with bright, but we certainly have that with dark. So the next method, a bit more complicated, will take care of that. Thank you. I'm going to save this, and we will continue.